Hey there, my Facebook lovelies. Hello there, my Instagram gorgeous design divas. How are you, girlfriends? I'm Donna Hoffman. It is so good to see you. It's so good to be here with you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere to help you wipe out the disappointing results, to help you wipe out the disappointing room. And how do I do that? Well, with my fabulous online courses, which are packed with great usable strategies. I know how to take creative information and turn it into clear strategy for you. And my Design Diva girlfriends, my Design Diva students are rocking their homes with our online courses. And close to I don't know, almost 2 years ago, one of my staffers, one of my team members said, "Hey, Don, you really ought to think about doing Facebook Lives." And I went, I feel too shy. I don't know if I can do it. They said, "No, just do it." And I said, "Okay, what, like once a quarter?" And they said, "No, once a week." I said, "Are you kidding me? How are you going to do that?" Because I also run a luxury interior design company. I said, "No way can I do that." Well, we tried it and you guys loved it and we loved it. And I just loved coming out here and hearing what's on your design mind and seeing how you're doing in your life. And I love being able to help you as well. So as we have been doing for the last few weeks, we come out here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, and I teach about a design topic. And then I take your questions on that topic. And with the whole stay in place and this whole pandemic thing that we've had going on, we thought about canceling them. You might have heard me say that. And we just wanted to be respectful, in terms of what's going on in the moment right now. And we decided to come out here just to see how you are. And we said, "Hey, do you still want me to teach about design?" And overwhelmingly, you said, "Yes, we need the break." So that's what we've been doing. We've been coming out here. I still come out every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, so I can teach you something. But first, I do want to check in to see how you are. How's your stress level? How's your body? How's your mind? How's your spirit? It's your heart and your spirit that I'm most concerned about. Your body's already gorgeous, and so is your face. So I will just tell you here, it's been crazy pants day. Outside, it's sunny now, but we had massive hail turning into rain at one point during the day. It started out sunny, then this hail thing blew in and winds were blowing around. And then before and after this, we have a crazy little red robin banging into a window, into a French door in my kitchen downstairs. And it is constant. And it's getting to a point where I'm calling him the nitwit. I would think he would have such a headache by now. I think he sees his reflection. It's crazy pants time. So just before we came live out here, I said to my son, who's home from college taking his classes online because of COVID, I said, "Brett, put up these sticky notes all over that window. This bird is making me crazy." So if you know anything to do to stop these red robins from bobbing along, please tell me what it should be and I will do it. Oh, why am I putting my glasses on? It's time to teach. So I want to see if you're okay. You're telling me you're okay. So I'm hearing, yes, I'm okay. I'm getting thumbs up. I'm getting happy Tuesday. I'm getting spirits are high today from Mary. That's good. Okay, so everybody's feeling good. I'm seeing Jennifer McCann is feeling good. All right, so you girls are doing okay. Triple Bonnie, still want to know how Bonnie, how you got your handle there, Triple Bonnie. But anyway, let's do some teaching, shall we? If I know you're okay, let's do this. The furniture, the torture of the furniture that you own and you hate it. What do you do with it? Do you hate it because it's dated? Do you hate it because you're just sick and tired of it? Or do you hate it because it's kind of worn out and it's not looking exactly the way it once did in its prime? What are your choices? What do you do? What do we in the design community do? There are so many stereotypes about designers in the luxury world, which is where I practice. And the stereotype, which I hope is not true, is that, we come in with our scarf around our neck. And yes, I do like wearing scarves. They keep me warm. And we say, "Oh, we have to get rid of all of your existing furniture." Not exactly true. Here's how you know when it's time to get rid of furniture. A, the budget will allow for it and you want to make the change. And importantly, where you want to go, that existing furniture won't work. So if you want to create, a blueberry, a blueberry bread, and all you have is, steak and sour cream, you can't make blueberry bread out of steak and sour cream. So design is very much an additive sport. It's the sum total of everything that gives you your final outcome, right? So you need to evaluate, is the furniture that I'm working with, is it working against where I'm trying to go? Now, if the answer is yeah, it is, but Don, I'm stuck. This is the budget. Okay, no problem. I've got some good workarounds for you. So the first thing I want to tell you is the 110% rule. And I kind of adapted my 110% rule it's actually a TV rule that things count more on TV. Small gestures or a habit that you have counts more on screen from my TV days. But in your home, the 110% rule, I think, has to do with the fact that you see things and problems in furniture more than people coming into your home might. Hillary Rushford, really talented blogger and social influencer around fashion, she talks about body image. You know, she says women will look in the mirror and the first thing you see is your hips or your stomach or your I don't know what. And Hillary herself said, look, I see my stomach pooching out as soon as I get dressed. I'm thinking, what is she talking about? This girl's a former dancer. So I would say to you, the same thing is true about a flaw that you see in some furniture in your home. You might look at it and think, oh, this is just so worn looking, or, oh, I think this is really a problem, this piece. And in the context of your whole space, it may not be as intensely bad as you think it is. It may not be bad at all. It just may be more that you're tired of it. So I would ask you to be a little more clear with yourself. Are you falling into that 110% rule? You're making that problem count worth 110%, whereas it's really more of like a 40% problem in the space. Are you over fixating on it? So that's something you'd need to answer before I could really help you, right? Without seeing pictures. The other thing I would want to tell you is, well, let's go through case goods, wood furniture, and upholstery. Okay, what can you do? Well, there are two areas you have to think about. Are you dealing with furniture that's more worn out, or are you dealing with furniture that's dated? If you have something that's worn out, you either need to repair it or refresh it in some way or replace it, right? Because if it's really worn out, if we're talking about things that are dented, chipped, uh, uh, torn, shabby looking, that will never be good looking in a space. So let's talk about what to do there. And then we'll talk about what to do if you're looking at things that are dated. So for case goods, those are your wood furnishings, non-upholstered items. Unless you've been living under a rock someplace, and I know you haven't been, even before this shelter in place, I know you've read a blog or two, and I know you already know, yeah, you can paint a piece of furniture, but let's get specific. What if you're not uber talented with a paintbrush? Doesn't matter. The reality is that you can think about, let's drill down deeper into this painting thing. As long as you can hold a brush or a spray paint can, you can do a lot more with repainting furniture than you realize. And it doesn't have to mean painting the entire piece. So get a little more specific. Do you have a piece of wood furniture, maybe a table that's looking a little meh to you, or a sideboard? Can you repaint can you keep the top stained, and then you can just do what's called a split finish and just tape off the top and just repaint the base of it? That's called a split finish. Or with a dresser, you can do a split finish where you are making the drawers something different, and then the top and the base of the furniture stays the same. I got to tell you something, guys. We appoint furniture that's brand new where we do split finishes on things. So you can absolutely do that. Keep some of it stained and then do a little bit of painting on it as well. If you have metal furniture, a glass table that has a glass top but a metal base, pop that glass top off and get a can of Rust-Oleum. You can paint easily, no talent required. You can easily spray paint any piece of metal furniture, no problem. You update it. Same thing with light fixtures too. Very easy to do. Easy in quotes, just a little bit of a sweat equity. So aside from considering doing a split finish, other things you can do when you're trying to rework, and of course you can repaint an entire piece, of course, you can do that as well. And it doesn't have to, and it can be a punch color in a room that you repaint, or you can paint something into a black or into a white, and then suddenly you've got a great neutral something. This side table suddenly looks a little more refreshed, or this desk looks a little bit different, updated. And of course, speaking of updating, you can always change out your hardware. And again, I'm sure you've read some of this online. But something I want you to know as well is that if you cannot, and this is true for upholstery as well, If these updates alone aren't enough for you, or you're thinking, hey, I'm just not an updater kind of girl, I want you to know there's a very powerful move that you can do, that we're doing right now in a residence, that I'm going to save for a little bit. So a little tease there. Doesn't require any difficulty or money spent. Okay, so those are a couple of ideas for case goods. If you hate it, you got to replace, or first try to reinvent it, refresh it, right? Well, what about upholstery? Well, upholstery, you can try to revive it first. You can add new cushions or new decorative pillows, I should say, to revive it. You can certainly restuff your cushions if they're looking warped or tired, but I will warn you, doing a restuff is not a zero cost or a very low cost option. It's lower than replacing, but you would be surprised at the costs involved in restuffing cushions and rebuilding cushions. It starts to really add up. You can also, of course, slipcover, which they're kind of a nuisance because they move around, but if you have a torn arm, better to slipcover and improve the look of the condition of something, knowing that you're gonna have to keep retucking that slipcover a lot. And then, of course, you can look at reupholstering. And the interesting thing about reupholstering, guys, is you can recut a sofa. I have taken the hump off of a camelback. I have gotten rid of these big rolled arms and turned them into track arms. A good reupholsterer can absolutely recut something. We're looking at doing something in a client's home now where we want them to, they have an exposed frame sofa, and we're going to be proposing reusing this sofa in the new residence in a very different way, keeping the sofa fabric as it is, but having just the frame repainted. So how does an upholsterer do that? They literally have to take part of the upholstery off, peel it back, tape it out, and then they spray it with a furniture grade finish. If you're crafty, you could do something like that as well if you have an exposed frame chair or an exposed frame, exposed wood frame upholstered item. So there are a lot of things that good upholstery workrooms can do. And if you're not crafty, get out Google and see who's in your area that could do some interesting reupholstery for you. And as long as you control yourself on your fabric cost, you can land a reupholstered, let's say 84-inch sofa. That's like standard 84 to 87 inches, a 3-seat, 3-person sofa. If you can keep your upholstered fabric to between 35 and 50 a yard, with labor, you should be able to do something at a lower cost than buying a mid-cost value or mid-cost quality product. Does that make sense? You'll probably need about 20 yards of fabric, give or take, depending upon what your sofa silhouette looks like. The labor cost, you've got to get a bid on that. And the other thing that will add to that reupholstery, remember, is if you are going to be restuffing cushions or rebuilding cushions, that's where it starts to get a little pricier as well. So those are just a couple of ideas for you. So you can reinvent, you can refresh, you can revive. But what is something else you can do? That's my secret weapon that you're going to say, seriously, it sounds so oversimplified, but oh my gosh, it works. If you are willing to do this, it might just take some elbow grease and maybe some furniture sliders and the help of your, I don't know, grown son or your neighbor or your husband. If you are willing to break up the marriage, not with your husband, of your furniture, you would be amazed at how incredibly you can add new life by relocating a piece of furniture. It's amazing. Let me backpedal or backtrack. I had an amazing mentor in the design industry, and she really affected me as a designer, probably as much as anything I learned in design school. And she taught me that one new item in a room has tremendous impact, especially if you're an HSP, especially if you're an empath. And I know we've talked about this. If you follow me and if you're into design, chances are pretty good you're a highly sensitive person or an empath, somewhere on those two spectrums. So one new item in a room, a new bed, new bedding, or a new lamp, you really see it, and it really changes a space. So with that being true, absolutely undeniably true, one new item has tremendous energy and change power in a room. So it holds true that if you take your 2 dining room lead chairs and they suddenly go into a hallway on either side of a chest, those lead chairs suddenly feel very different in that new location. If you're willing to break up the marriage of furniture, well, what I mean by that is, well, I've always used that sideboard in my dining room. Well, why? Could it also function if it got repainted and new hardware, could it function as a cool media cabinet? Or if you take off the doors and finish the inside, suddenly you've got this cool open shelving, something for, I don't know, in your daughter's playroom, and you painted it a really cool, bright yellow. I don't know. So it's not just about making the changes to the item. It may be an item that doesn't even need changes, but by putting it into context that is new. Context is everything. You are tremendously empowered by not having to spend more money, but by giving yourself permission to alter the context of the furniture. New location. I had a builder look at a very large home that I designed, and he said, gosh, Donna, love what you did here, and I can't believe how fresh you made the client's existing furnishings look. They look like they belong in these new spaces, and they look so different in these new spaces. And I knew he was talking about context. And in many cases, we didn't reupholster, we didn't recolor, or maybe we took a dining chair and we just recolored the leg. A lot less expensive than buying an entirely new dining chair, something I'm talking about doing with a client right now, taking her existing dining room chairs, putting them into her kitchen, probably changing the leg color, way less costly than buying all new chairs. Are we going to do it ourselves? No, we're going to send that out to a specialist who can strip them down and recolor them. So it's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater and deciding everything's lost, right? Just because you're not happy with the way something in your home is looking or some furniture is looking. You have more options than you realize, and it doesn't have to be this all or nothing. And this golden, tip I'm giving you about breaking up the marriage, sending furniture that you think should be connected into different locations, using it in new context with new items in combination with it, really, really powerful. Okay, so if you have questions about furniture that you need to reinvent, by all means, pop them in to your to the questions box, your chat screen. I'm happy to take those questions. I just want to let you know what next week's topic is about. It's a goodie. Can't see it though without my specs. Oh yeah, this is a good one. I get so many questions about the difference between accent chairs and demi chairs and club chairs and diners and side diners. So we're gonna talk about the difference between how to plan your chairs in your design thinking, and the difference between the different chair types and how to utilize and leverage those best. And if you want to put in a question now, go ahead about your furniture. I'm glad to do that. And I also want to let you know, I'm getting some interesting DMs and messages from you guys saying, now that I'm home so much, I am really seeing the glaring things in my home that bother me in terms of total design and changes I'd like to make. So because we're spending more time in our homes now, I want to invite you to check out my Design CPR, Creating Perfect Rooms with Accessories. This is the bomb. It is the best. It is the type of fast result, do it now, don't have to spend a lot of money or any money type of quick results course, because you will have results in 4 hours to 4 weeks. If you're going to do a little shopping, how to leave some time for things to be delivered. It's how to lean into accessories to redo a room, but I do have a little bonus module in there where I talk about furniture reinvention, reinventing what you already own, from zero cost moves to mid cost moves to high cost moves. All right, so I just put that out there to you. Posted a link here for you. And if you are on Insta, you can just go to my Learn With Me tab at the interiordesignadvocate.com website, and you can find out about that. All righty, so there you go. So let's see what's on everybody's minds question-wise. What's on your gorgeous Design Diva minds? Okay, so Missy is asking, where am I located that I got hail? I am in a suburb of Philadelphia. So yeah, it was hailing. Linda is telling me she's hanging in. That's good, Linda, I like it. Carmen's saying, what do you do with the family piano? Oh, Carmen, pianos are tough. My mom and I used to sit at my childhood piano and upright and play, and I cannot bear to get rid of it because I adored my mom, and losing her was not easy for me. So I still have that piano. I have it actually down in our design studio. I can't tell you, it doesn't really belong down there. Pianos are hard to reinvent. If anybody has any ideas about how to reinvent a piano, I'd love to hear it, and so would Carmen. It's hard to get rid of the family piano. Okay, Tammy's happy that she finally made it here. I'm so glad. Donna is in Cincinnati and saying hello. That's good. So I'm getting hellos and highs from Karen and from Cherry. Okay. Cherry likes this topic. I'm so glad. Jennifer's saying hello. I'm getting hellos on Insta. Okay, so Judy is saying that she has painted brass chandeliers with bronze spray paint. Turns out so great. Yeah, and you can do any finish. You can do a high polish silver. You can do a brushed nickel. You can do a black. You can do a bronze. I just saw a designer doing a live recently, a couple days ago, and she said that when she sees finishes that are a brush, when she sees brush nickel finish, she sees somebody who's chicken. I have to disagree. I think she's really a smart designer, but I don't agree with that. I think it has to do with your design fingerprint. Some people just don't like shine. So if you need soft, you can do a soft finish. If you want bright and shiny, you can do a shiny gold or shiny silver. So think about your material mix when you're doing, a new coffee table or a metal lamp or a metal light fixture, and you can do some amazing changes. You really can. Missy's saying that she has spray painted a lot of things, loves that idea. Mary likes the idea of the split finish. Yeah, split finishes are great. And let me tell you, sometimes in the design world, we get hit with upcharges when we're ordering a new piece of furniture in a split finish. Do it yourself. It's a high-end look. In fact, I'm working on a new workshop, and I'm showing a great picture in that workshop. One of my students reinvented a desk that was very kind of fuddy-duddy. It had, the cabriole legs, very Queen Anne, a very dated-looking desk. She updated it with a split finish paint job, and I think she left the top stained, but spray painted the base. New hardware. It looked amazing in this new accessory setup that she did, thanks to Design CPR, that amazing course I just told you about. Okie dokie. So Daphne's saying, hi, lady. Hi back to you, lady, and a hug too, Daphne. Eva's saying, thank you. Shane loves the topic. Grace is saying, I have a great china cabinet, and I don't know where to put it. I replaced it with a server. So here's the thing. You talk about getting rid of furniture. There's certain furniture you can't give away. Obviously beds for health purposes, but china cabinets, people don't want them anymore. Armoires, TV armoires, can't give them away. So what you can do with that type of furniture, with a china cabinet, you can just get rid of the top and just use the base, either repaint it, restain it, or not. Or if you're going to keep the cabinet top, repaint the whole thing in a really cool color, and it will go into something from meh to amazing, even if it's just a lacquered black, right? Just do something striking with a great finish to it. And then the other thing you can do certainly with that china cabinet is you can paint just the inside back of it, or you can add a wallpaper to the inside back. So those might be some things, depending upon the cabinet, that you can think of doing, Grace, that will allow you to change that piece. But in terms of where else you could put it, those are big pieces of furniture. So can't help you there without knowing your home and your home layout. I have a question from Insta. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Insta. These questions are coming in fast. How often do you change the look of rooms in your home? Me personally, or human beings in general? This is from JHGRE1. So if you want to tell me, if you want to know my personal thing or what clients do, in your own home, meaning me. Is that me? Is that me? I guess it's me. People think designers just say, go repaint that. Let's redo the kitchen. We redid it 3 years ago. Let's spend another thousands of dollars and redo it again. No, designers, we're living life like you are, and we're putting kids through college and putting food on the table and dealing with all the pressures that you are, putting our underwear on one leg at a time, or whatever that expression is. So, I tend to refresh rooms with pieces. Remember that I told you about that single piece that can make a big difference? I try that in certain areas of our home first, but we did a total redo on our family room about 1.5 years ago, and some of you guys followed me on that journey, and it's fabulous looking. It's all very fresh and updated and great. But it was a slow process getting there, because I started to convert slowly other rooms in our home where I was bringing in a new splash color, green. And I was starting to weave that through our home. Just replaced our kitchen dining table. Really want new chairs. Not doing it yet. I'm still thinking about what those new chairs will be. So I can morph things in my own home as a designer. The temptation as a designer is you see gorgeous things all the time when you're working. in showrooms with just the very best, the most beautiful things. So it's tempting to just keep redoing, but I think you also have to be wise with things. When we design for clients, I'm designing with longevity in mind. I want to see people love their rooms for a minimum of 10 years, if not 12 to 14 to 15 years. I think if you go real classic, you can get very long lead time out of things, but certain pieces might become dated. If you go into a very trendy, making this up, let's say you buy off now on a kidney sofa, really cool right now, but in 7 years you go, oh, that kidney trend didn't last very long. I hate the sofa now. Well, you might need to do something new to appease your palate if you have the budget for it. If you're trying to buy pieces that have long-term bones, I think you need to be careful about what you're purchasing. For example, in a sofa, I think track arms seem to be a sofa shape that has held its significance. It's a mid-century modern shape, and I think that just goes for the long haul. So JHGRE1, did I answer you? Did I help you? Did I make it worse? Are you throwing tomatoes at your phone right now? If you have a follow-up, come back to me with it. Then Triple Bonnie, there's my Triple Bonnie. How'd you become Triple Bonnie? Are you a triplet? Are you like a number of Bonnies in a generation? Who here wants to know how Triple Bonnie became Triple Bonnie? I want to know, Bonnie. Anyway, Triple Bonnie wants to know what are the popular colors to paint a casual guest room furniture. Bonnie, I'd want to see the style of the furniture. I'd want to see it pick. I hate to say that to you, but I would before I gave you an actual answer. But you want a very off the top of my head answer. You could go black, you could go white, but I would really need to know what your design style is and what that furniture is and what else is in the room around it. Let me take a Facebook question before I take another Instagram question. Okay, so Patricia Justice is saying, I have a glider rocker with old upholstery. It has the darker wood and my style is more traditional cottage. I will likely get it reupholstered, but what about painting the wood? Scared to do this. I would have your upholsterer paint the wood for you. A good upholstery shop should be able to change out legs, change colors, change finishes on things. And if they don't do it, they should be working hand in hand with a good framer, and a good framer should be able to do that for them. So if you're going to already go to a professional for that, Patricia, I wouldn't paint it yourself. That's just me. Alicia is saying, I have a TV stand in great shape, but it's a medium wood tone, more traditional looking, and I'm wondering if I should paint it a cream color to get it to be more of a rustic look. But it's in perfect shape and doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother you, Alicia? I'd leave it alone. I'm not saying you have to reinvent things. This is about the furniture that's bugging you, that you look at it and think, oh, this is really bringing the room down. It's dated, or the condition isn't good, or I got my money's worth out of this thing and I'm just done with it. I can't really tell if that's where you are, Alicia. Holy cow, these questions are coming fast and furious. Rose is saying, I love your opinion on the wall color for a kitchen. This is a little off topic, Rose. And I've got so many questions coming in that are on topic. Rose wants to know, paint color for a kitchen. I want to paint everything. One color, walls, cabinets, molding, pantry, doors. What do you think? Rose, I need to see a picture of what that kitchen is looking out at. What is it opening into a great room? What are the other finishes around? This is a big question, you smart woman, you. I'm glad you're asking it. Rose, I don't know. I don't recognize your handle. I don't know if you're in one of my courses, but if you are, that means you are in one of my private Facebook groups where you can post pictures. The whole community can weigh in, and my designers and I can weigh in as well. So without seeing a picture, Rose, I'm not being glib here. I really don't feel I can answer you well, but I appreciate that you asked it and that you trust me. So let me know if you're a student. Hop into one of our private groups, the one that goes with your course, and then you can post that. Okay, so Sharon is saying, this is such timely guidance. I just moved a sideboard I had into our foyer and into an open concept main room and put it in the dining. Wait a minute. What? Rewind. Timely guidance. I just moved a sideboard that I had in our foyer into an open concept main room, and I put it by the dining room. OMG, what an improvement. Thank you, Sharon. See? Bright minds, brilliant minds, Design Diva minds are all working in the right direction. Eileen is saying, hi, any suggestions on what to do with a 1960s Ethan Allen beautiful cherry hutch? It's so dated, but it's such a quality piece of furniture that I don't want to trash it. The hutch top can be removed from the chest below. Eileen, without seeing a picture, Based upon what you're describing to me, I'm guessing if you remove that hutch top, you would get rid of some. So what dates a piece of wood upholstery, right? It's the finish, yeah, but it's also the silhouette. So guessing in my brain about what you're talking about from a 1960s Ethan Allen piece, I think if you got rid of that hutch top, Eileen, you would be getting rid of some of the offender with the all that extra, silhouette that might be if it's a terribly ornate piece, or if it's a little more mod than what you want, little like 60s modern as mod as opposed to 60s coming out of the 50s looking kind of cut and so forth. And Ethan Allen back then wasn't doing super modern things. So I'm thinking if you remove the top and painted the base, you could have something fantastic. And then do like a cool mirror above it, a big, 42-inch round circular mirror, or do a framed mirror that you put together yourself, or do I don't know. I'm going into one of our art things that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, but I think there's a lot you could do by getting rid of that hutch. That said, Eileen, if the piece is too big, wrong size for what you want to use it for, I wouldn't put time, energy, and elbow grease into it. I'd start a savings fund until you can buy the right sideboard that you need in that room instead. I do think there comes a point where you have to decide, what the heck is happening here? Why am everything's falling off? I think there comes a point where you have to decide, is this worth the dollars that I will be investing in it? Am I gonna, is it really, or am I throwing good money after bad? So I just talked to a client about reupholstering and recutting her cocktail ottoman for her new home. And I said, unless you love, love, love this ottoman, we have to reshape this and resize it so much and then reupholster it so that we can build a twin to go with it because of the size of this room. I don't know that we're going to really save anything at the end of the day, maybe a couple $100, which is fine if you love it. But if you don't love it, you're going to have two of them. So I think you have to kind of do that answer that question as well, Eileen. All righty. So JB Divine MSJ, I hope I didn't screw up your handle too badly, on Insta wants to know, I would like to know, Donna, if I can put a wall unit into a living room. Yeah, why not? I like it. Have to see the room, but as a concept, it doesn't bother me. Also, Instagram is asking, the Gassia Life is asking, I have a 2-story great room and I have no clue what to put behind the couch. Okay, this is kind of off topic, so if there's time, I'll come back to you. I want to take the furniture question since that's what we're talking about right now. Shane is saying, I treat our upright piano like a fireplace and the TV is mounted above it. Don't know if I love that. I would want to see a picture. I've never seen that done before, so I'm not so sure about that. Joe is saying, I miss color. Any chances reds are coming back into fabrics? So funny you say that. I just had a meeting online through Zoom looking at fabric for a project, and I was seeing a lot more red. Corals and reds are, corals continuing to develop, and I do see some red coming back. And listen, I got to tell you, red's a great color. If you love red, you should put it in your home, whether it's trending or not. You should absolutely surround yourself by colors that you love, period, end of story. Martine is saying she loves the ideas. What's best to paint? What's the best paint to use when painting furniture? I don't know. I design it. I don't really do it. I know that when I spray paint metal things, the few times I've done that, I just get a can of Rust-Oleum paint from Lowe's or Home Depot. But if any of you design divas are crafty design divas and you can tell Martine what are the best paints to use when painting furniture, please throw that into the comments section so we can all help Martine. Okay, so Donna is saying appropriate locations for a Demilune table. Donna, you smarty pants, what a great question. Demilunes are great pieces. Does everybody know what that is? It's a kind of a half moon, or like a semicircle. It's flat on one side and it's got a curved front. Beautiful, nice historical roots, and they can be done in any design style. The thing about Demilunes is you have to make sure that they are proportionally appropriate for their location, which is true of all furniture, really, right? But Demilunes, generally speaking, are best in a hallway. They're an accent piece, right? Steve, you okay? Yeah. They're accent pieces. They're really not deep enough, to put a you know, next on the side of a sofa, because sofas tend to be between 39 and 41 deep, right? So that's why end tables tend to usually be about 24 long, even if they're only 18, even if they're only, you know, they're narrow. So demi-lunes are good as accent pieces. So foyers and hallways and bridge areas, an open concept where you're walking between here and there, and there's a piece of wall. I think that's really the best use of a demi-lune. Great question though, Donna. Trisha is saying, I know exactly what you mean. I can't get rid of my childhood piano. I know. And thank you. I'm sorry for anybody who's lost a mom that they've been close to as well, Trisha. It's a bad loss. But I think that when you process it fully, when you don't just bury it, I think you come out of the whole thing a stronger ship. I think you do. And if you had a great mother, you have her handprint in your soul, right? So that I think helps you get through as well. But that's a different topic. And you're not interested in what I have to say about that, I'm sure, because we're designing together. Linda is saying, I have a one-sided chaise sofa recently purchased at Bassett. Not happy with the look. The scale is too small for the open floor plan. Okay, Linda brings up a fantastic point. What do you do if you have a scale problem or something's too small? In some cases, and perhaps in Linda's, you can increase the sense, the perception of scale of a piece of furniture based upon what you combine it with. So Linda, if you added an appropriately sized side table to that chaise in your open concept area, and if there is, I don't know if there's a rug already in that area, but if it's off on its own, if you want to do a scatter rug beneath it, we just did this in a woman cave. There was an area that had just a chaise in it, and we needed to beef it up. We added a scatter rug kind of on a diagonal. You can do a hide or whatever. I don't know what vibe you're going for in your space. Linda's one of my students. I kind of know her design fingerprint already. But can you, Linda, do a sidearm table next to it, and off that sidearm table, a floor lamp? Sidearm tables are smaller than end tables, right? Sidearm tables are like 16 diameter or 14 diameter. Or Linda, do you have room for, next to that chaise, you have room for like a 20-inch table and with a lamp on top of it? You want to see what you can put around it. And picture this, Linda. Is there a piece of artwork you can hang relative to the setup that I've just described, where we've got this chaise and the table and the possible floor lamp? Is there a piece of artwork that can go behind it to create some sort of stronger vignette in that one area? See, artwork placed near a piece of furniture can help beef up something that looks too small. And Linda, if you go to my Instagram feed, you scroll through and you'll see a piece of artwork hanging low on a wall in the small apartment I worked on, my daughter's apartment. That artwork was purely there to add a sense of scale to a chair that was a little small. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you, Linda. Again, context is what you put around things. Okay, so Instagram. So Sandra is saying, I would bring a drawer to Home Depot. Oh, to help Martine with her paint question. Sandra Lockoff is saying, bring a drawer to Home Depot and ask them specifically about the procedure. I love that. Go to the expert. They might tell you, hey, you have to sand this down and then use this product as a primer and this product as your paint. Or they might say, hey, just paint this sucker. You don't even need to sand it down. And someone else is saying, also to help Martine, chalk paint is great for DIYers. Chalk paint is great for DIYers if that's a look that you want, right? All right, these are great. You guys are the best. I love my Design Divas. You guys, you know, I know you guys like coming to these Tuesdays, every Tuesday Facebook Lives, every, Tuesday at 4, but I love being here with you. I started telling the story about how scared I was to come out to do these at first, and thought, what in the devil am I going to talk about? And I'm too shy. And my heart gets so full from you people, you girls, that I just owe you a big thank you. I know you guys give me thank yous, but I send one right back to you. Anyway, so, okay, Missy is saying, what I've seen in reinventing pianos may not work, but I've seen them made into coffee bars. May not work for a family heirloom. I have no idea. You know what I've seen turned into bars that really looks good? This is not a piano point, but I've seen people take armoires, those old TV armoires, and if they're good looking, keep the doors on them, keep them open, but they paint the insides. They'll do paper on the inside, and they'll do glass shelves on the inside and turn them into really handsome bars. Or they remove the doors entirely. So kind of cool. So Linda's talking about whether or not to try to sell something or move on. Listen, selling things, Craigslist, then you have people coming to your home, but you can sell furniture. But here's the thing you need to know. Furniture depreciates very quickly. You think a car depreciates fast when you take it off the lot? Furniture, big time. And again, there are some pieces of furniture nobody wants. Can't even give them away. But you can also think about giving them to resale shops. Maybe, you know, there's a hospital near you where they have a cancer resale shop where funds go to cancer patients who need treatment and some financial support. Or there's a homeless shelter a group that helps people stay out of homelessness, come out of homelessness, and they have a resale shop. So we like to get things donated to them as well. All right, I want to start wrapping this. I know I overstayed my welcome. We're going a little long today, but you guys have a lot to ask. So let's see. Last two questions. How about? Angela's saying, I have a china cabinet that has huge glass doors, is painted and distressed. I have books and coral in it. Nice. I use it as a cabinet of curiosities. It's not in the dining room. I like that, Angela. Nice. Good share. Joe is saying, came in late. My question is it worth recovering a hardened wingback chair that is dated with Queen Anne legs and maybe replacing the legs and buying a lesser quality new? Joe, if you love your chair, you can take a wingback. If you came in late, you missed this, but you can reshape. A good upholsterer can reshape things. If you have to reduce your wing a little bit, or you want to square off your wing. Some of the things happening with wingbacks, it's really exciting. They're showing them in these squared off versions, really sexy. So you might be able to have yours recut. You would be amazed at how much you can recut and reshape a silhouette. It'll cost you, but not necessarily more than a replacement would of an equal quality, high quality item. So you have to weigh the pros and cons, Joe. And certainly if you kept your silhouette where it is, again, I haven't seen it, but you did a really cool fabric on it, like an oversized, large scale print. How cool might that be? So there might be some reinvention in them. There are hills for you, Joe. By the way, I want to let you know if you missed any portion of this, for example, Joe, you came late. You can always go to YouTube and find us at the Interior Design Advocate. I know it's backwards, YouTube, Insta girls, I'm sorry, but the Interior Design Advocate, you can find us on YouTube. And if you're not following us on Instagram, girls, what are you doing? You're missing the party at decorating.genius. That's at decorating.genius. Please give us a follow. We love feeling that love from you, and tell your friends to give us a follow as well. You girls are already there for us. And by the way, if you want to see what we're doing at our design studio, that's a different Instagram, and that's at IDH Designs, at IDH Designs, to see what we're doing at our studio. And next week, I just want to remind you, we're talking about the different types of chairs that are out there and how to use them in your design thinking. Okay, let's see. So Kim wants to know, do accent chairs need to match? Not necessarily. They can, but they don't have to. I'd want to see them in the context of your space, Kim, so I'd need a picture there. And Grace is thanking Angela for good ideas. And I'm getting, I think we got through most of our questions on furniture, recoloring, redoing, okay? So my lovelies, if I didn't get to your question, if you were asking a question that was off topic and I didn't get to you, or if we just ran out of time, I apologize. We went kind of long today, and I've got another phone call I've got to hop into, so I've got a meeting to prep to. So next week, I will see you for chairs. What's the difference between the accent chair, the club chair, the demi-club chair, the dining chair, the side diner, the diner? What's the deal? What gives? Where do you use them? How do you use them? How do you get the most benefit and mileage out of them? That's what we'll be talking about next time. So listen, lovelies, stay safe, stay healthy, stay, centered inside during this odd moment we're in COVID-19. I promise you it will end. I don't know when, and certainly not soon enough for any of us, but it will come to its conclusion and it will move on. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love spending time with you. I love hearing what's on your gorgeous minds, your talented minds. Check out my course, Design CPR, Creating Perfect Rooms with Accessories. If you're just sick of being shut in, looking at some design flaws in rooms that you'd like to redo, but you just don't want to spend a lot of money on it, There's so much you can do with facelifting rooms with accessories. And in that course, I do go into some furniture reinvention, working with what you already own so that your whole facelift that's accessory driven can really be done in anywhere from 4 hours to 4 weeks. And I posted a link for that on Facebook, and you on Instagram. Feel free to go to theinteriordesignadvocate.com, click on the Learn With Me tab, but importantly, then head over to the blog for a 20% off coupon. That's important. Why not save a couple of bucks? All right, lovelies, I will see you next week, 4 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.